You get some points, you get some points, you all get some points. So I'm not really sure what's going on with American Express and these crazy increased offers. Hey guys, it's Sebastian from AskSebby, and today we're going to look at a historically high public offer for the Platinum card, how to potentially get a higher offer, and then also the long-term value of the card. You can think about the first half of the video targeted towards people who understand the card already, and then the latter half towards people new to this who are trying to figure out what this is and whether it's a good card worth it for them. Before we dive in, big favor as always is to give this a thumbs up because it tells YouTube that this is worth watching, and if you really like this, consider subscribing. So let's start off with the increased public offer, and that's going to be 75,000 MR points, membership reward points, after $5,000 a minimum spend in the first 6 months. So that's already really good, and I think that makes the card worth getting, just because in the first year, the card is always a good thing. The second part of this is that you're going to earn 10x back on your first $15,000 of spend in US groceries, so US supermarkets, and also US gas stations. This means that there's an additional 150,000 points that you can get through this that are normally not categories for the Platinum card. So in total, you could argue that it's 225,000 points for this public offer, just because it's not standard, it's not normal at all. If you want to support the channel, we have links on AskSebby.com or down below in the description box. Before you do that though, I would recommend checking Card Match, just because they're targeting a lot of people for 125,000 points and then additionally that 10x back. So arguably for that targeted offer, it's 275,000 points in total, which is really good and even better. So normally Card Match targets people who are non-customers for these increased offers, but I've been getting a lot of messages from people who already have accounts, who have accounts from even 6 months ago, 9 months ago, so quite a bit, who are still getting targeted for this increased offer. So I'm not sure if it's based off income or credit score or some other metric that we're not thinking about, but they're targeting a lot of people, and I'd recommend checking there first to see if you have this increased offer, and even if you don't, you might want to hold off and check next week to see if you have it, just because it seems like they're doing this on a pretty good cadence. If you are going to check Card Match, there's going to be a referral link in the description box. Very easy way to support the channel. So let's do 4 quick points before we dive into the calculator and then the long-term value of the card. Point number 1 is that the Platinum card is probably your best starting point for American Express. There's a lot of people out there who feel like you need to start with another card from American Express first, and that's typically not the case. If you have a good credit score, if you have something like a 750 or 725 even, and you have a decent base of history, then they'll happily approve you for the Platinum card as their first American Express card. Tons of students can get this card, and it's something that makes a lot of sense if the card gives you value. Number 2 is that there is no downgrade path for the Platinum card into a no annual fee card. So you can downgrade to the green or to the gold card, but both of those still have annual fees. And ironically, it doesn't really make sense to do that because by downgrading, you're no longer eligible for those bonuses. I mentioned this again when we go back to the calculator, but American Express has terms and conditions that says if you have or have had a card, then you're no longer eligible for that bonus. They don't care whether you got the bonus as long as you had it at some point. I've seen some people downgrade this to the green card and then realize that they lost out on 50,000 points because they're no longer eligible for the green bonus. Number 3, this card is different from the other Platinum cards. So if you have something like the Morgan Stanley one, Goldman Sachs one, Charles Schwab Platinum cards, those are technically considered separate products, and you can still get the bonus for each of those, or you can get the bonus for this one if you've had those ones. Number 4 is a warning for people who are focused on cash back, because American Express MR points lean very heavily towards first and business class trips and like international flights rather than cash back. You can cash them out if you eventually get the Schwab Platinum card, but most people don't really want to get 2 Platinum cards and pay all that annual fee in order to do this. If you have that level of spend, if you can float that money, then I think it makes sense, but just be careful there. I've seen a lot of students wonder why they can't really use their points in an effective way and get very confused by it. So it sounds like my computer is about to take off into orbit, but let's go through the calculator on this. You can also find this if you go to our website, AskSebby, or just Google it. Are you eligible for the bonus? I'm guessing yes. Are you able to complete the minimum spend within the first 6 months? I'm guessing yes as well. If you struggle with this, if it seems like a very high number, I'd recommend looking into plastic. So plastic with a Q, just to pay something like rent or tuition or something in order to hit that minimum spend, because that does make up a pretty big part of the bonus. So next one, you can change it to 125 if you get targeted for that offer, but I'll leave it at 75,000 for now. So the 10x back for US grocery stores and US supermarkets, I think that's really good because it's a common category, but it is going to be weird in the second year. The reason I say that is because the Platinum card is not a grocery or a gas station card. It's not really an everyday card. Let's assume that you don't have any travel this year and you have no prepaid hotels and all other expenses. Let's say it's another $5,000. Actually, let's just say it's zero for the other things. So you're getting 150,000 points from spend, which is really good as well, on top of that intro bonus segment. So using the points is one of the most confusing things for people because they're used to other systems that are a lot more straightforward. I would argue that statement credit, Amazon, as well as gift cards are generally bad ones unless you really need the money. You're better off doing anything towards the bottom. Schwab Platinum Cash Out is pretty good if you eventually see yourself getting that card, so maybe in a year or maybe in a few months. One other thing to be careful with is that this might actually be a honeypot that American Express is using to see who cancels their card within the first year. So a honeypot is basically a trap to see who goes for the cookie, and they might flag that person. I don't think they're going to shut down accounts because that seems too aggressive, but I wouldn't be surprised if people who shut down this account end up getting the bonus pop-up moving forwards. Bonus pop-up basically means that you're not a profitable customer to American Express and they don't want to give you any more bonuses. If you aren't going to cash out your points, you actually want to transfer to partners. This also gets confusing to people because you're not getting 2 points back for every 1 point you transfer. It might be 1 point to 1 point, but when you have that other point, it's going to be worth more. So if we press downwards, you can see that in the first year, you're getting a lot of value upfront, $4,500 in value. So I've talked about this in a prior video. If there is not a targeted transfer bonus, you're still getting a lot of value transferring your points to Virgin Atlantic. So points transfer at a 1-to-1 rate. If you transfer 120,000 American Express points to Virgin Atlantic, that allows you to book round-trip ANA first class from the East Coast. The best product right now is going to be out of JFK because it's the new first and the new business class. It looks pretty good. I think I've shown it in another video as well. I'd recommend doing that one. Singapore Airlines first class is another really good one that you might want to consider. In a lot of ways, it's figuring out the destination and then what products fly there and which ones offer the best value for the points. If you're considering the Platinum card, I'm guessing you're doing transfer partners because that's kind of the whole draw of the MR point program. So a lot of value there. And next, you're going to have a bunch of credits. So $200 airline incidental credit, depending on how you're using it, can be pretty easy to use. I typically just do it towards Southwest because there's a lot of different less than $100 fees that end up triggering this. This airline incidental credit is based off the calendar year, so it's going to reset again in 2021. Next is going to be a $100 Saks credit. They do have a lot of overpriced stuff, but there's some other reasonable stuff as well. Same with all of your other shopping. You're looking to get value. You're going to a certain place to buy it only if it makes sense. So Mandy and I ended up getting an ARC, which was the same price as if we bought it from other places. I'd recommend waiting towards Black Friday and towards the holiday season though, because they do have sales. So if you try to buy this at any other place, it's going to be in the same price range. One other trick too is when you go buy anything, use a shopping portal. Something like Rakuten right now at least has 10x back. So that's either 10% cash back, or if you link an MR earning card from American Express, that's going to be 10x MR points. If you don't have an account yet and you want an extra $40 for your first purchase, you can use the referral link down below. Pretty much a no-brainer, and if you're doing any shopping anyways, you might as well get extra cash back. $200 Uber credit, $15 in every month that's not December, and then $35 for December. If you don't take Ubers, you can also use this towards Uber Eats. One trick is to do pickups because that tends to be a lot cheaper. When you have them deliver it to you, due to all the fees involved, it ends up being pretty expensive. $100 global entry or TSA pre-check credit, I typically put this at 0, but you can put this at its full value. My rationale is that there's so many cards that offer this that you probably already have one. The point of the calculator is that it lets you adjust these values just because certain people are not going to value that Uber credit at its full price. Maybe they only value it at 50% at $100 instead of $200. Centurion Lounge access is normally one of my best benefits, but this year is not as useful. Same thing with Priority Pass and also Delta Sky Club access. Fine hotels and resorts, I think there still is value, especially if you like to do Vegas because there tends to be a lot of deals on there, or just any other place that has reasonable higher end hotels because they throw in a lot of stuff. If you don't have any other hotel cards, you also get some status here. It doesn't tend to help you that much because it's the middle level status. You typically need the higher level ones in order to get upgrades to suites. So for example, for Marriott Gold, you'll probably get upgraded to a higher level room, so one higher up in the building, but you're unlikely to get a suite. Other benefits like Platinum Concierge, I think it's a bit useful if you are someone who likes very specific shows that American Express has partnerships with. So some people really value this at 0, some people value this at a lot. I like it for restaurant stuff, so it also depends on what's in their network. If they do have something in their network, they might be able to help you get around reservations, or you might just end up getting free dessert. With all of this, especially in 2020, your mileage is going to vary. In year 1, you're getting a ton of value. Year 2, you need to see if it works out for you. If you are someone who's 424, I'd probably just finish Chase right now and then move to this offer because it makes a lot of sense, but also really depends on you. On that note, if you want to see if you're targeted for that increased offer, card match link down below. If you want to play with the calculator, it's going to be on our website, AskSebby. And if you want to learn about any cards, even if it's not this one, we have links on our site. Very easy way to support the channel. My question for you guys is, where do you think the ceiling is for this, and are you signing up for this offer? Let me know and the community know in the comments down below. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you know anyone else who'd benefit, share this with them. Will probably help them out. But otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.